Hi, Miss Gibson, it's me.
Alright, so I'm doing my speech on golden retrievers, and there's a saying that if you want someone to love you forever, buy a dog, feed it, take care of it, and keep it around. And so there was a survey done in 2017 and 2018, and it said that 60.2 million US households owned at least one dog, and from the same survey, 89.7 million dogs were owned. And so as a actual dog owner, I feel that it's important for people to understand how to properly take care of them. And seeing as golden retrievers are a very common breed to own, that's what I'm going to do my speech over. And so in order to have a complex dog such as the golden retriever and care for it so that it will stick around, you need to know how to properly take care of them. So I'm going to teach you about their health care, grooming, the exercise and training they require, and what food to look for when feeding them. And so many people don't realize the constant care that comes with owning a dog. It's basically like having a baby, which is not anything we're going to be doing anytime soon. And so understanding routines and nail care, dental hygiene, coat care, brushing, and grooming is very important. A website called Totally Goldens explains how to keep a daily, weekly, quarterly, and yearly routine to make sure that you're meeting your dog's needs. And so daily, proper exercise, water and food intake, you need to balance these. So if your dog's not eating as much, they probably don't need to exercise as much, and vice versa. If they are running around a bunch, they're going to burn off their food and their water super easily. For weekly, you're going to want to check their physical characteristics such as their nails, their coat, things like that. Ensure that they are properly being cleaned. For the nails, this bottom picture shows like a broken nail, so you'll want to check for snags, and they need to be trimmed every 10 to 12 weeks. So you're supposed to visit a vet preferably once to twice a year, and one of those needs to be for vaccinations. And so this can be a good opportunity for you to get their nails trimmed, or you can do it from home. But if you're going to do it from home, make sure that you know how to properly trim them. For their teeth, you should clean them weekly, which isn't as much as a human, but it's still very important. It prevents gum disease and tooth decay. For bathing, most people don't know how to properly bathe their dogs, but you should actually not bathe them every week. It used to be that you should bathe them quarterly. With new shampoos, you can bathe them every 1 to 2 weeks, but it's more of like a monthly thing now. They're known for their fluffy coat and their floppy ears, but one thing that many people don't check is their ears. Because their ears flap over like their ear holes, it is common for moisture to get in and can cause infections and parasites. So you'll want to make sure that their ears are properly cleaned weekly. You should brush them once a week and check for redness. And this picture shows that you should brush them from the front of their body to the back, since that's the way that their hair grows. And then for training and exercise, this is also very important. They are a sporting breed, and which means they are very high energy. Canopet, another website, explains that they are hypersensitive and to sensory input and stimulation, which is basically just explaining that they're very excitable dogs. They love to run, they love people and interacting, but this can also be problematic, so you'll want to train them correctly. Most of the time when you get them at 6 to 8 weeks, you should start training right away. If not, they won't learn how to properly interact with other humans and other dogs. And another thing is that golden retrievers are very common guide dogs, and so the earlier you train them, the better, because they obtain information very easily. There's an online website called theonlinedogtrainer.com, but it's more recommended that you have them trained in an obedience class. That way they can interact with other dogs. And so structured exercise is very important for them, and by structured exercise, you should go outside with them, be running around with them, or at least watching them run, playing fetch, interacting with them. If you leave them outside, they are very likely to just come back to the door and want to come back inside with you. The next thing is their food and water intake. And so 2 common dog foods, mainly the brand like Blue Buffalo, that's a very common brand. Grain-free is often recommended for golden retrievers. They should receive between 1,300 and 1,800 calories per day, mainly for active dogs. If they're a little less active, that can vary. You'll want to check the serving sizes and portions on each individual dog food because all of them are very different. And you should definitely research your specific dog's needs. If you're not feeding a golden retriever and you're feeding another type of dog. Dry kibble is very highly recommended for them because it can scrape off tartar on your teeth. Meat or meat meal as a first ingredient is also highly recommended, but you'll want to watch that you're not overfeeding your dog. And a sudden increase or decrease in water and food intake can mean other health problems. So if they begin to eat a lot, they're going to become overweight and they can develop joint problems and things like that. And so these are just very common things when owning a dog that you should look into, especially as you're going into the adult world and probably going to own a dog or any other animal at some point. And these are my sources.